I saw it somewhere.
All right, zoning board, we are live. We are recording. Phone lines are opened. Go for it.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome to the Town of East Hampton Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for November 18th, 2025. We have a busy agenda tonight. Just going to ask everybody to be mindful of their time as we move along. The first three applications were held open cases due to notice issues. So I'll read the first one into the record. Is 33 Surf LLC at 33 Surf Drive, Amagansett, Suffolk, tax map number 300-174-3-5. Size and location is 10,000 square feet at 33 Surf Drive, Amagansett Beach, Hampton. Number 1203, lots 36 and 40, Amagansett. The description is to construct a 154.35 square foot addition to an existing deck on a parcel within the jurisdiction of freshwater wetlands. The relief sought is a natural resources special permit pursuant to 255-420 and a variance from 255-430 of the East Hampton Town Code and any other relief necessary. Variance of 80.1 feet to construct a deck addition, 19.9 feet from a wetland where 100 foot is required. The zoning district is B residence, AE flood zone, elevation 10, and the secret class is type 2. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address this application? Come on up.
Counsel for applicant.
Okay.
Would like to hear me now or public first?
Yeah, let me just find out. Matt, is there anybody online? Except for John Forson.
Just please stand by 1 second. And this is Matt Chapman calling in from LTV, making sure that all lines are open and clear, which they are, and you have 0 additional callers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Johnson.
Yes, good afternoon, members of the board. John Borkwin of Greenberg Traurig, 2317 Montauk Highway in Bridgehampton for the applicant. I know the board has heard this once before, so I'll keep my comments brief. The board heard this matter on the October 28th calendar, at which time it was delayed or put over for our updates to the posting and mailing affidavits, which have been submitted. The proposed work here is to bump out the existing deck in the rear of the property 6 feet to the east.
Do we need to reiterate?
No, we don't.
The application.
Just so I can point out the technical analysis memorandum, the TAM of October 3rd, states the planning department has not identified any long-term environmental impacts and generally speaks in favor of the application.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, just did take a photo that the new notice had been posted. There was one question that we did have, if I may, for the agent, because we asked Ms. Vale, and maybe we can just clarify it so we have all the right things we would be deciding on. The existing deck, I think there was a question of if that was being rebuilt in place and in kind, in addition to the extension, and I think she had mentioned she'd get back to us. It's not crucial. I thought it would be just good to clarify for.
At this point, the only contemplated work is the 6 feet extension out to the deck. And actually on that note, just for housekeeping, I do know that it was noted on the record last time that we are awaiting a minor revision to the survey. The gravel area and flagstone walkway are to be marked to be removed and to actually also be removed. So I'm not sure if the board wants to make a decision with that receipt of that survey conditioned or wait for the receipt of that survey.
So providing that it's clear that that the survey will show that, I think we can make it conditional.
Understood. Thank you.
Right?
So motion to?
Yes, motion.
Okay. In the matter of 33 Surf LLC, 33 Surf Drive, Amagansett, Suffolk County Tax Map 300-174-03-05, I make a motion to close the hearing and the record.
Second. Thank you, Council.
Concur.
Concur. Next, we have Jordan Brink and Inez Salehi. It's 49 Gull Road, Montauk, Suffolk, tax map number 300-10-6-5. Size and location, 7,500 square feet at 49 Gull Road, Culloden Shores, Lot 60, map number 3433, filed October 16th, 1961 in Montauk. This description is to allow patio to remain 8.8 feet and 9.3 feet from side and rear yard lot lines where 15 foot is required. Two variances of 6.2 feet, 5.7 feet pursuant to 255-1110 of the East Hampton Town Code is required to allow the existing patio to remain 8.8 feet and 9.3 feet from the side and rear lot lines where 15 foot is required, and any other relief necessary. The zoning district is B residence, X flood zone, and the secret class is type 2. What do we have here?
Okay, here's the story. If I may, are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, so I believe there was an affidavit done this time, but there was a posting a couple of days after our last hearing when this happened, and there's the photo. I didn't get that photo, so somebody must have submitted that. However, when I went out subsequent to that, there was the next photo that you'll see. So somewhere along the way, it disappeared.
I think
I
we
don't know,
can, we can rule that it was properly posted this time.
They were notified and they put it, I know.
They put it back
They
up
put it,
yesterday.
they put it back up, so.
Yeah.
Oh, they just put it back up.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Came in yesterday to pick up any posters.
Yeah, that was-
Okay. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address this application? Matt, is there anybody online?
You have 0 callers. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have a motion
Just gonna
to
close?
close?
Okay. So for Jordan Brink and Inez Salemi at 49 Gull Road in Montauk, tax map 300-10-6-5, make a motion to close the public hearing and the public record.
Second, no, concur.
Concur. This is one, board members, would you entertain making a decision tonight, or would you be ready on this?
No, I'm not prepared, I'm sorry.
McDonald's?
No, which one? You're talking about
No, I
McDonald's
would
or
not have a
Gulf? No,
problem
the
with
next one, yes, I'm
I wouldn't
sorry.
have a problem with this, but I'll go with my
Which
board
one are you
members.
talking about?
Sorry,
Gull Road.
Yeah.
Alexander, next one applicant is Alexander Childs McDonald at 123 Harbor Boulevard in Springs, Suffolk tax map number 300-95-6-12.2. Size and location is 14,000 square feet at 123 Harbor Boulevard in Montauk View, lot 1 through 6, filed July 23rd, 1911, as map number 16 in Springs. The description is to allow a first-story addition to remain 13.8 feet and slate pavers to remain 14.7 feet from the rear lot line where 15 feet is required. Relief sought is variances of 1.2 and 0.3 feet pursuant to 255-1110 of the East Hampton Town Code is required to allow the addition to remain 13.8 feet and slate pavers to remain 14.7 feet from the rear yard lot line where 15 foot is required and any other relief necessary. The zoning district is B residence, zone X flood zone, and the secret class is type 2. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address this application? Matt, is there anybody online?
You have 0 callers. Thank you.
All right, can we have a motion then to close?
In the matter of Alexander Childs McDonald, 123 Harbor Boulevard, Springs, Suffolk County tax map number 300-95-6-12.2, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing and record.
Second.
concur.
Concur, thank you. Are we ready to make a decision on
I
this,
am
Vice
ready
Chair?
to.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, proceed.
Yeah, I could do this one.
Okay, I'm going to go right to the standards.
Is it good now?
Yeah. We can do it now, right off the bat.
What's the matter?
We can do it now.
Okay. I think this hearing was first held October 28th. I'm not positive about that.
21.
21?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, John. And I just want to make sure we reference the proper survey, but I'll go right to the standards. The benefit to the applicant from grant of a variance outweigh any detriment which grant of a variance will cause to the general health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood or the town as a whole. I feel that this application will not cause any detriment or to health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood. The area variance to be granted is the minimum variance necessary. It certainly is. It's actually a de minimis variance, 1.2 feet and 0.3 feet. The area, whether the grant of the variance will cause an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or create a detriment to nearby properties, I feel that this application will not do that. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance, I think the answer to that is no as well. Whether the requested area variance is substantial, it certainly is not. They're requesting a 1.2-foot variance and a 0.3 pursuant to 255-1110, allowing the addition to remain 13.8 feet and the slate pavers to remain 14.7 feet from the rear lot line, where 15 feet is required. Whether the grant of the variance will have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental condition in the neighborhood, I feel it will not. Whether the difficulty causing the applicant to request this variance was self-created, yes, it was, but as already stated, these are relatively minor, and as-built addition does not appear to result in any significant encroachment into usable open space. So for these reasons, I will be approving this application in its entirety.
Thank you, Ed.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with my fellow board member. It's a de minimis request. I don't see any potential environmental detriment to the community, to the neighborhood. I don't see it having an impact on the character of the neighborhood. I'm going to agree with the vice chair, and I'm going to approve this application at this time.
Thank you, Terry.
Yeah, I'm also going to approve it. Just want to make a statement. I guess there was some contractor errors that were made on this application, and the contractor would not correct the issues. However, as far as the detriment for the applicant, I do feel that the little mistakes that were made on it, as my fellow board members said, were not large. And I'm approving the variances, the 1.2 and the 0.3 feet also.
Thank you. Jane?
Yes, thank you. I assess this application very similarly to my fellow board members relative to the standards, so I will be approving both variances, requested relief. Thank you.
Likewise, I agree with my board members. I have nothing else to add. Council?
Yes.
Thank you. Our next applicant is Marine 51 LLC at 51 Marine Boulevard in Amagansett, Suffolk Tax Map number 350-179-1-7. Size and location is 29,700 square feet at 51 Marine Boulevard. Map of Seaview at Amagansett, Lot 37, filed November 3rd, 1967 as map number 4987 in Amagansett. The description is to replace an existing deck in place and in kind, construct a pool deck with gravel area where there is an existing patio, relocate pool equipment, install a gas line, reorient the existing gravel stone driveway, construct wing walls at the driveway entrance, revegetate and regrade within VE flood zone, within minimum dune crest setbacks, and on a lot containing beach vegetation and dune land. The relief sought is a natural resources special permit pursuant to 255-420 of the East Hampton Town Code, and 3 variances of 50.9 feet, 8 feet, and 32 feet from 255-440 to replace a deck 49.1 feet, install a gas line 92 feet, and construct driveway walls 68 feet from the dune crest where 100 foot is required and any other relief necessary. The zoning district is B residence, VE 17 and AE 10, and the secret class is type 2. Council, do we have proper affidavit of service and posting?
Yeah, I reviewed the affidavits of notice and posting, and everything seems to be in order, and the board has jurisdiction over this. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Member Mary?
Yes, thank you. I visited the site for my field report on a sparkling sunny day. This is the proper the photo of the proper notice that is clearly visible from the road. Next slide. This is a shot just right across the street. We're heading towards sort of the eastern cul-de-sac of Beach Hampton, just east of Napeague Lane. This is the property on the other side of the street. Just character, there is some nice dune land and topography all around this part of Beach Hampton. Next slide. Now I'm looking east towards that, way down towards that cul-de-sac, just again, shot of the road in front of the property. The right-of-way in front of the property is directly on the right there. Next slide. The sun is a little bright. I'm just showing, I'm standing in the road looking now flush at the property. The whole thing is very sandy in front. I know there's going to be a lot of discussion about revegetation things. The front of the property is mostly, I think, the invasive olives. You can sort of, I just wanted to show that you can sort of see through, there's the fencing there, which is related to the pool, which we'll be discussing. But that even though the pool is in the front yard, it's screened, and you also really don't see the house from the road as well. Next slide. Okay, this is the driveway that's on the, really runs parallel and close to the west side of the lot, kind of straight up towards the house. So I'm going to go up this driveway. It's gravelly and sandy. Next slide. Okay, right before you, you can see the house in the distance there, which we'll get to, but right off the driveway towards the east, the path sort of jogs, and I'm going to go down that. So we'll look at the pool and the pool patio, which are an element of this application. Next slide. Yeah, so now the house is right at my back. I'm standing on some topography, sandy, that's between the front of the house and the pool. There's the pool fence. I'm looking out towards Marine Boulevard, and you can see there's a existing brick patio, existing pool. Next slide. I just went inside there just to get a little sense. I believe the patio is being replaced mostly in place and in kind, although I think there's some extra stone noted, but I think it's going to remain pretty much the same. Next slide. Okay, so now my back is directly towards that pool and pool fence, and I'm looking at up towards the front steps of the house. Next slide. And I'm sorry, and you can see there was topography in there. I actually think if you look at the survey, the septic might be right under that area. It says cesspool on the survey. And there is some, I think there's some potential grading that's going to happen in this area, but we'll get to that when the agent gets up. Next slide. Okay, a little closer to the house, there's a broken slate walkway up to the steps. The house sort of looks like it's in 3 sections. It's a 1-story. You can see along the front there, I have a better picture of it later, there are sort of these retaining walls, creosote or whatever they're made out of, or railroad ties or things like that. Those are all going to be removed, and I guess the whatchamacallit, the sort of restoration of topography will take its place. Next slide. Where am I? Oh, the house is, I'm actually standing up on the steps, again, looking, houses to my back, just so you can sort of see, there's a really nice rise that has come off Marine Boulevard by the time you get to the house. Just was trying to show that. Next slide. And again, a little closer look at those bit of that retaining wall and that sandy area. You can see there's a retaining area towards the left of the photo and right in the foreground. Next slide. Okay, now I'm continuing back on the driveway. I'm heading all the way to the end of the driveway. This is the west side of the house. That's where the garage is. In the distance, there's a lot of, I think that black pine there has been called out in the TAM. I'm going to go around the back of the house. Again, back up there are more of those sort of retaining areas that I think the surveys say will also be removed. And I guess there'll be some restoration of the dune land maybe within where those pines are. Next slide. Now I'm coming right around the back of the house. You can see there's like a gravel path. That's the rear deck. To the left, that's going to be rebuilt in place and in kind per the application. Next slide. You can see this more clearly on the survey. So those are the steps of the back deck. You can see the ocean in the distance, and that area is sandy. It doesn't show up because of the way the light is hitting, but what marks the difference between the sand and then the beach grass that goes up to the primary or to the dune crest is, again, it's like sort of wooden stuff that I guess will be removed as well. Next slide. Okay, now I'm, sort of in my back is towards the ocean. I just wanted to get a full view of the house and the back deck that's going to be dealt with. And there will be, again, I think some regrading in this part. Right now it's just sort of bare sand in this area. Next slide. But what you can see, and I did want to take, is there's very lush, mature beach grass that runs really all the way from this little semicircle as you head towards the water. Next slide. And then this is just, you can see it on the survey. There's a bit of a wood walkway that comes out of that area and is going to head down to the beach. It turns into a sandy path. Next slide, you can see the sand path. There it is going down. You can get a sense of the vegetation all around. Very beautiful day. Next slide. I think I have one or two more. Okay, so my back is, I'm kind of standing, I think, roughly where the dune crest is marked. My back is to it. Just a little context. You'll see that white house all the way on the end that will look familiar to this board, as that was in front of us not that long ago. And, there was a lot of discussion at the time about the stability of the dune land within this area. That was for a different application, but it's very close to here. Again, you can see it doesn't really show up well. It does, from where I'm standing down to the house where that semicircle of sand is, it does drop pretty quickly. And again, we'll discuss some of the potential restoration of contours. And then this last, and that last slide, again, this is just a closer up as you're coming around towards the back of the house by the garage. This is some of those structures that are going to be removed. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eric?
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Eric Brown, Ackerman Partners for the applicant. Roy, I think I'll defer my comments until the planning department has done their memo, has presented. I don't have a whole lot to say about this. I would be probably more productive if I answer questions and sort of lay out the responses to what Morgan has to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll hear from the planning department then, Morgan. How are you, Morgan?
Good evening, board. Morgan Slater for the planning department.
Morgan, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
So the application is for some minor improvements to the property and the removal of existing structures, with the most extensive structural work being around the driveway and pool area. This entire lot was developed prior to NRSP standards. I think I have to look. There is building history in the file. I think probably dates back to the 60s or the 70s. The application also proposes regrading on the north side of the house and a restoration of the dune land on the seaward side of the house in an area that appears to have been cleared since at least the early 80s. The extent of legally existing structures that are being removed is hard to quantify since the 1983 CO survey lacks a lot of detail. I do know there are building plans that show the pool patio from around that time, but the pool patio doesn't make it onto the CO, so that's just an example. That's kind of a major structure that didn't end up making it onto a survey that was definitely there at that time. The extent of disturbance and temporary clearing limits does seem to be a lot, considering the improvements are generally minor. The existing vegetation on the landward side of the house is a mixture of native and invasive species, and the applicant is proposing a revegetation of mostly native species. The planning department recommends that the Japanese black pine that's included in the re-veg plan be eliminated, since that is an invasive species frequently found in the town's dune land. Ultimately, the proposed clearing limits are 7,191 square feet, which is about 4,600 square feet less than the existing clearing limits. The overall scope of improvements is quite minor, and the planning department does not anticipate any additional environmental impact from these improvements when compared to the existing conditions of the lot. And in some ways, the environmental conditions are improving. I can answer any questions the board may have, or we can hear from the applicant, and then I can come back up, however you guys want to do it.
Any questions from Morgan?
Well, yeah, I mean, your TAM was done on October 25th, and the survey that you just handed us is November 7th.
Yeah, so one of the things that we recommended in the TAM was, there was a few different plans in the file, all showing the scope of work. So we recommended that the entire scope of work be shown on one revised survey, and I believe that is what you have in front of you. I think Eric can probably speak to if anything has changed majorly from that than what was shown in the file, but it's more just a cleaner way to review the application as a whole.
Okay, black pine's the only invasive you found on the property?
On the re-veg plan. Yeah, there's like one black pine on the re-veg plan, which we don't want to encourage people to plant.
But like those olives.
Oh, yeah. So that's, I think maybe Eric can speak to the limits of disturbance for the work that's being done. I imagine a lot of those invasive species are going to be removed in order to get some of the work done, and then it will be, restored with native species. But again, I think that's more of a question for Eric.
There are a significant number of pines to the west of the house where the new walkway is going in. To the west of the house. As we're coming up alongside the garage, we're going to spin our way around to the back now. They're going to take out that, they have railroad ties standing up on edge that do a semicircle. They're coming out. That area then will be recontoured to best match the existing, I'm summarizing here what I think I hear, to match what exists, right? So that side, we're going to see some replenishment of dune. And everything to the west with those pines, are you saying that all those pines will come out now? Is that
No,
part
she
of
just said one pine.
one pine
No,
on the
there's
new
one
planting
that- okay,
plan.
so the
I'm talking about existing ones.
Yeah,
there.
no, I wouldn't. The pine that I'm talking about specifically was included as a planting on the revegetation plan.
Okay,
So we don't want any additional pine on the lot to be taken out. I don't know the extent of how much is actually being removed from the property in the process of the improvements.
there are some railroad tied steps and there's some railroad retention wall there. That's to be removed to allow for the new walkway to come in.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that's going through a group of pines. Whatever has to come out for that is fine. The other pines you're fine with.
The ones that are remaining on the property?
Remaining on the property, yeah.
If they don't need to be removed for the work, then
That's right.
they
That's
can,
fine.
yeah.
So as long
the
as they're not in the path of the work, you're okay
Right,
with
yeah.
that.
The scope of work doesn't really warrant an entire, invasive species removal project. I think it's more just, as the work is being done, there's going to be some disturbance that would involve removing some of that vegetation. And then it's going to be
Comment in the
restored.
TAM about the potential overclearing during construction, thinking it was excessive.
We typically, considering that the quality of the vegetation on the north side of the lot especially is moderate in most cases, we're happy with the revegetation plan for the most part that restores a lot of the property with native vegetation.
And you've been through the martyrs, they did a protocol on this.
Yeah,
Protocol seemed complete to me.
yeah.
Okay.
I do see on the new survey that you just handed tonight, the temporary limits of clearing. Oh, no, that's right. It's still the 22. Never mind. Can you just comment, and maybe we'll ask Mr. Brown as well. So, because I haven't sort of seen this. So there's this recontouring of part, as you're getting seaward of the house, right? There's some recontouring. So I just want to think about how that fits in with, protect, because you're close to the primary dune crest. So can you just shed a little light on that type of work and what it means? And obviously I'll ask the applicant why it's happening, but.
Yeah, so the applicant provided some cut and fill estimates. So I believe that they will be importing some sand to accomplish that restoration. Our recommendation is that sand be, compatible with the existing conditions there and clean. And any beach grass should be planted on top of the dune restoration in order to stabilize it. I don't, as far as the contours go, if that area remains, untouched, the wind may have its way in some cases, it is oceanfront, so it may not look exactly the way that it's proposed to look. But I think the fact that they are revegetating an area that has been cleared since at least the early 80s with, beach grass and trying to mimic the natural dune scape is meritable to the application.
And then my other question is, So in a way, these are, you characterize them as minor changes. There's a lot of replacing and placing in kind. There'll be some environmental improvement, I guess, because of the re-veg with more native, but and the house has already been renovated, I believe, right, fully, but we're still coming away on this property with a cesspool, and I don't think any easement or protection, over a part of a parcel where we often do see. Again, this is not a full redevelopment, and but did you have any thoughts in terms of
the extent of the existing renovations, especially interior, I believe the building department would look at and see if that reaches a threshold to warrant a sanitary system upgrade, and I guess it didn't, because those renovations have been completed. The exterior work that we're looking at tonight, I think that the revegetation plan that they submitted that will be replacing a lot of invasives on the property with native plantings is enough mitigation for the work that they are doing.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I have no questions.
No.
Come on up, Eric.
Thank you, Morgan. That was a very thorough presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions that I can for you guys. In answer to Terry's question about the survey difference, the DEC had asked us to remove some minor portion of the west side of the proposed deck and some additional stone that was going to be put in a north-south fashion on the most landward parking area. All of that is below the coastal erosion hazard area limit line, so they obviously have jurisdiction over that. So we took that out so that you guys would have the most accurate survey. We've agreed that we're simply not going to fight with the DEC over that, and so we're going to leave it there. Jane, in answer to your question, the idea in the back in terms of the grading and dune area is to try to mimic as much as we can the traditional topography as you showed on your photos. There's sort of there's a big drop between the dune and face as it runs to the beach and the grade where you come down off the deck. So the idea is to try and address that and to make that more beachy. Ed and also other members had asked about the railroad ties and that sort of thing. All of that stuff is going to come out. Marta's brief is to remove all the invasive species that they can and replace them with beach grass. We've already installed some additional beach grass there, but we obviously we had to come to you guys for the rest. In terms of the deck, I know that Morgan noted in her memo that it was unclear as to exactly, it was 400 feet at one point, and now it's 800 square feet. Our clients acquired the property in 2022 and have done nothing to the deck. So as far as we know, I mean, when our client acquired it, the deck was the size it is now. The building department had opined that we could replace the surface boards of the deck without an NRSP, but unfortunately, the framing system for the deck is rotted through, and they basically told us that in that situation, we would need to come to you to for permission to replace the whole thing in place in kind, which is what we're doing. I'm not sure what else I would point out that as Morgan said, we think the clearing numbers as well as the coverage numbers are improving on the property. The improvements that have been made to the house are really just exterior cladding and interior renovations that have not increased the size of the house or the footprint of the house in any way. So I won't go through point by point. I know you guys have a busy evening, so I won't go through the standards point by point. I'd refer you to the legal memorandum that we filed as an addendum to the application, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
No.
No, okay.
Okay,
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Can we have a motion?
Yes, 1 second. Okay.
You have 0 calls on the line. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody in the,
Okay.
as Charlie walks in the room, anybody from the public would like to address this application? No, nobody online, thank you. So,
Okay, thank you. In the matter of Marine, sorry, Marine 51 LLC, 51 Marine Boulevard, tax map 300-179-01-07. I make a motion to close the record and close the public hearing.
Second.
Concur.
Concur.
concur, thank you. Thank you. You too, Mary.
Thank you.
Next, we have Surf Club at Montauk, 20 Surfside Avenue in Montauk, Suffolk Tax Map number 300-49-6-21. The size and location is 333,633 square feet at 20 Surfside Avenue in Montauk. The description is to add an 80-square-foot bathroom addition over existing deck on Unit 73, construct an approximately 40-square-foot first floor and 22-square-foot second floor addition over an existing deck on Unit 81, and an 80-square-foot bathroom addition with a skylight over an existing patio on Unit 85 on a parcel of land containing and within fresh jurisdiction of dunes, duneland, beaches, beach vegetation, and tidal wetlands. Relief sought is a natural resources special permit pursuant to 255-420 of the East Hampton Town Code, and 3 variances are required for this application. Variances of 61 feet, 30.8 feet, and 17.4 feet are required from 255-440 to construct or propose additions to 89 feet, 119.2 feet, and 132.6 feet from dune crest, and any other relief necessary. Zoning district is RS Resort Zone, X Flood Zone, and the secret class is type 2. Council, do we have proper affidavit of service and posting?
Yeah, I reviewed the affidavits of notice of posting and everything seems to be in order and the board has jurisdiction over this hearing.
Thank you. Member Johan.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This property is noticed in 3 different locations. This is the first one. This is on South Essex. I'm sorry this picture's not larger, but you see it there on the post in front of you. Next. That's South Essex. Here we are now on Surfside Avenue, and it's noticed here at another side entry. Continue. Next, please. And here we are seeing it as we're coming off of Surfside Lane. We're going to pull into the back parking lot here. These are 3 units all in the same basic area of the surf club. Next, please. I just want to give you an idea what it looks like here, and we'll see that these are gravelled areas with the units spread around them in semicircular fashion. Next. Oh, I guess this is just the end. It's just, yeah, this is dead ends here at Surfside. That's a pathway to the road. It's unnecessary, but that was just as you're coming in this back entrance. Next. So now we're taking a look at 73 from a distance here. This is what these little units are like. They have some privacy entrance on every one of them. There's a little area to the, we'll get a little closer. Next. This is an area here that this is existing deck, and this is what we're talking about on 2 of these. We're going to take this area and close them in. Next. Now I'm going to the next one. This is 81. This is down an alley and to the right. I go down to that wall and make a right, and that's where the door would be. To my left, as I go down that alley, is the mechanical room, which is an exterior door to it. In this one, they're talking about closing in that area that we see on the first floor and doing a second floor addition to it. Next. I just took a minute here between the 2 to show you where they're located. Located in Montauk on the eastern side of town, looking across the primary dune here out at the ocean. I have 2 more of these. I'm looking now to the east. You can see there's a deck coming from that hotel to the immediately to the east, and then to the next one, please. And again, you're going to sweep down looking past where these units sit. And, you know, one of the original developments in Montauk for vacationers, and it's still, although it's been rebuilt, it's still in this primary location. Next. And now we're coming into the last 185 here. I'm looking at coming down this alley. Again, all of these have these protected openings or entryways. Next. I'm going to look into the area that they want to close in. This one says highlighted having a skylight above. So we had a couple of existing patios. We had an entryway. I think that's all of them, Tyler. I think that's all I did. Oh, just a parking lot here, just to show you what we have for a parking lot.
Thank you. How are you, Lori? Or do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, thank you. Lori Wiltshire for Land Planning Services. This is, we're not reinventing the wheel here. We've been here before doing this exact same project, and we'll be here again. The applications for an NRSP and Dune Crest setback variances for 3 units at the Surf Club. Unit 73 and 85 both propose to enclose existing 72 square foot atriums, while Unit 81 proposes a 2-story infill addition of 62 square feet. The requested variances from the Dune Crest are 61 feet, 30.8 feet, and 17.4 feet. It should be noted that this is the first property that's immediately east of downtown Montauk, map 174. Up until that point, the Dune Crest setbacks is 100 feet. As soon as you step off of map 174, it's 150 feet. So we wouldn't be here for 2 of these properties if we were 1 property to the west. Anyway, the atriums at Unit 73 and 85 are basically useless, moldy outdoor spaces, and the area proposed for the infill at Unit 81 is currently a dark hallway to the front entrance. Additionally, the infill project will not be visible from any other units. The proposed work at all 3 units is extremely minimal. Unit 73 and 85 propose enclosures of the existing atriums that will result in a second bathroom of 76 square feet, while the 2-story infill project at 81 will add 62 square feet of living space in the form of a foyer and small kitchen addition on the first floor and a small office on the second floor, basically using up outdoor space that has no purpose, again, like the atriums. As stated in the TAM, the proposed work is also going to take place over land already improved with decking. There will be no clearing, no environmental or visual effects on the Dune Crest or the property as a whole. While the variances may be considered significant, the property is already improved and no alternative exists due to the location of the Dune Crest. The request for these variances is self-created in that the various owners all wish to take unusable exterior spaces and turn them into usable habitable space, but this should not preclude the granting of the variances. This type of work has already been done at other units at Surf Club, specifically at Unit 22, which was granted an NRSP and a 37-foot variance from the primary Dune Crest for the same 2-story infill project proposed at Unit 81. So the proposed work will be in keeping with the existing conditions of the property and will have no environmental impacts whatsoever.
Any questions for Lori?
No,
I have no questions.
no.
Thank you. Can we have a motion?
And we need
How
to
about-
hear from
I'm
Tyler.
sorry. Tyler,
Tyler Borsak for the Planning Department.
Tyler, do you swear firm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. The proposed project before the board is to include existing exterior decking and patio space on 3 separate units within this parcel. This area east of downtown Montauk requires a 150-foot setback from the Dune Crest. Because jurisdiction from the Dune Crest is only 100 feet, only the improvements to units 81 require a natural resource special permit and a variance. The other 2 units only require a variance from the minimum setbacks to the Dune Crest. The subject property is in front of the planning board for several improvements, including the proposed improvements currently before the zoning board. The planning board determined that the application was complete and ready for consideration by the zoning board, and their final determination on the application is on hold until the zoning board makes their determination on the required variances. Downtown Montauk was part of a beach nourishment program that significantly widened the beach, which was undertaken by the Army Corps of Engineers in February of '24, which ultimately is a temporary solution to a long-term erosion problem in this area. The proposed improvements represent minimal changes to the existing conditions on the developed property, while the additions require variance from the Dune Crest, one of which requires a sizable 61-foot variance. The additions are minimal in size and proposed within the footprint of the existing improvements, decking and patio. Additionally, there's no seaward expansion proposed or new clearing required in order to complete the project. The planning department has not identified any substantial short or long-term impacts on sustainability of the use of the parcel, and it appears that the proposed improvements are in keeping with the existing development. Other than that, I can answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Any questions for Tyler?
None for me, thank you.
No. Thank you. Is there anybody in the public who would like to address this application? And Matt, anybody online?
You have 0 callers. Thank you.
Thank you. Now can we have one?
Lori?
Nope, she's fine.
Hold on. I'm closing?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Then in the matter of Surf Club at Montauk, 20 Surfside Avenue, Montauk, 300-049-66-06-21, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing and the public record at this time.
Second?
Concur.
Concur. Board members, I just want to, as we go into the work session, you to think about whether or not we can make a decision on this evening. But we'll go do that. We'll address that in work session. Next, we have Al Capra at 235 Fairview Avenue in Montauk, 300, tax map number 300-19-7-6.2. Size and location is 14,660 square feet at 235 Fairview Avenue in subdivision 7, block 201, lot 6, map number 1017 in Montauk. The description is to construct an approximately 270 square foot deck addition, 36 square feet, hot tub, outdoor shower, a new window, a door, basement egress, and to upgrade the sanitary system within jurisdiction and setbacks of freshwater wetlands. The relief sought is a natural resources permit pursuant to 255-420 of the East Hampton Town Code, and 4 variances are required for this application. Variances of 55.8 feet, 22.1 feet, 22.1 feet, and 18 feet are required from 255-430 to construct a proposed decking 44.2 feet, hot tub 77.9 feet, outdoor shower 77.9 feet, and window well 82 feet from wetlands where 100-foot setbacks are required and any other relief necessary. The zoning district is B residence, zone X flood zone, and the secret class is type 2. Council, do we have proper affidavit of service and posting?
Yeah, I reviewed the affidavits of notice and posting, and everything seems to be in order, and the board has jurisdiction over this hearing.
Thank you.
This is fine.
Okay. Amber Berger.
Call votes? Okay, this is actually, I'm standing across the street from, I'm standing at the applicant's house and just shooting across the street. See, there's a community preserve and there's a culvert that goes from that side across across Fairview Avenue onto and comes out on the applicant's property. So next is the official notice and posting is probably posted. Next. Here you can see it went toward Peters Run. You could see that there's turf grass all the way up right to where Peters Run is. And on the right side of that is where the culvert comes from, the other side of the street. Next. It's a shot of this area where originally there had been a pool proposed, but now there's some changes being asked for. There's going to be a deck extension, and then toward the right side of that photo, there's an egress window that's pretty up high. It's in the shadow there, and that's proposed to be made into a full egress door from the lower level. Next. That's the same kind of thing, but a little bit better view of that. Now the next, and I went to the back of the house, and the closest window you see right there is also proposed to be changed, egress, so a 4x4 window. There is a proposal of deck extension. I don't know, what's the next one I have, Tyler? No, that doesn't help. Okay, can you go back to that one? I didn't have a survey where I could find, I didn't have the latest survey when I went out there. So around that corner on the east side of the property, you can't really see it from here, but is where there's a deck extension that's proposed. And along that, toward the back wall that you see, the north wall in the next photo, there's a proposed shower and a hot tub, 6 by 6 foot hot tub. And so go to the next one. You still really can't see it. It would be toward the left of that other photo, left of this. But, And then the next shot is just a shot of the north. There's the neighbors to the north from that location. And it should be it.
Thank you. How you doing, Joel? Joel, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. Good evening, Chairman Deline, board members. Joel Halsey on behalf of Lighthouse Land Planning, representing the Capra family, the owners of the subject property. The application that is now before the board represents a significant reduction in scope over the originally proposed project. The project now is a modest 6-foot by 6-foot hot tub, deck extension with egress steps and an outdoor shower, along with the previously proposed 2 lower level egresses. There is no increase in lot coverage, and the minor increase in total lot coverage is equaling 338 square feet. The proposed hot tub, along with all of the other structures, maximizes the setbacks to the wetlands to the greatest extent possible. Currently, the property is overcleared at 11,568 square feet, or 10,999 square feet is the maximum allowable on this property. In addition, the clearing runs right up to the waters of Peters Run, as you noticed in the picture. This clearing has existed since 1976 and is pre-existing non-conforming and grandfathered in. As mitigation for the minor project, the property owner is willing to revegetate a 10-foot buffer along the cleared area for a total of 1,433 square feet. This 10-foot buffer will provide an immediate benefit to Peters Run and also bring the property into clearing conformance. Although the applicant may upgrade the sanitary system in the future, that is no longer proposed as part of this project. The current system is adequate for the residents. The upgraded sanitary system was hoped to be mitigation for the previously proposed project. The project was received poorly by the planning department at that time, and there's no nexus that can be linked to an upgraded sanitary system and a project as currently proposed. When Al Capper, who's in the audience tonight, came to me for this project, this was just he just wanted to do egress, 2 egress windows, or an egress door and egress window on his house. And I informed him that any changes in egress would trigger a natural resource special permit. And that's kind of where the project kind of blossomed into a pool and just, hey, we're going to throw darts at the wall and see what sticks. Maybe the pool was a bad idea. Maybe it wasn't well received. So we're working with Tyler in the planning department. We think we came up with a project that would be better received by the planning department. And to that point, I have submitted a memo to the record from the property owner, who again is in the audience tonight, which I hope you have all had a chance to review. And the pool served a certain purpose. There are certain medical needs for their son that water therapy is extremely beneficial for. And anybody who spends time on the beach in Montauk can see some of this in action with the surface healing that takes place in Montauk. Along with that, there are 2 letters from the doctor confirming this medical need. And we understand that all properties must be reviewed on an equal basis and that variances run with the land. However, there have been times in the past when compassionate review has been done by the board. And this project, as proposed, is minor, poses no significant threat to the wetland, neighboring properties, or the town in general. And adequate mitigation has been proposed in the form of the vegetative buffer between the wetland and the upland development. We do agree with all the conditions of the mitigation except for condition 4. I have discussed this condition with Tyler, and it appears that this was inadvertently entered into the conditions. That's the condition that requires dry wells and leaders and gutters, and that's usually a condition for new structures or sheds, new additions to the house or sheds, not for a deck addition and a hot tub. So that we'd like to have that struck from the record or struck from the conditions. The application does demonstrate compliance with the variance standards of section 255-8-50 and the general standards of 255-4-40 of the town code as outlined in the memo submitted to the record. I do not feel I need to read these into the record as they are currently part of the record. And if the board has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, so just to reiterate, you're taking out the sanitary offer.
Yes,
You're not
sanitary offer was
Great.
hopefully
And you want
adequate
number
mitigation for
4
that
out.
small pool, but that,
Okay, but now for a shower, you said something about dry wells. I mean, for a shower, we would require
Well,
a dry well.
yes, yeah, for an outdoor shower, we can attach a dry well, but the condition 4 was leaders and gutters on the
Leaders and
house
gutters
running
you want
to
to
dry
not
well.
have, okay. All right, now what about the hot tub as far as dry wells? I mean, how is this, when it's not going to be in use and it gets drained, where will that water go
Traditionally,
to?
I don't believe you drain hot tubs fully anymore.
Do for the winter, yes. you might.
But I mean, I guess, you know, you can attach a pool to a dry well. I've never really actually heard of a hot tub being attached to a dry well.
What's the size of the hot tub?
It's 6 foot by 6 foot.
6 by 6.
So does that need to be double setback?
Greater than 6 foot by 6 foot needs to be double sided.
No, it needs to be,
That triggers a pool. So
think 6
if it's
by
greater
6
than
is
6
the
foot on width or length and deeper than 18 inches, it's considered a pool, and then it triggers double setbacks. That's where the 6 foot.
Any other questions?
well, as far as the buffer, would they be willing to condition that, covenant that the 10-foot buffer would remain?
I would have to remain. You would have to, any clearing, once it's established, any clearing would require a variance.
Okay. Okay, let's hear from Tyler.
Anybody
From
have
anybody
any
else?
questions?
No, I'm fine.
Right now.
And just to let you know, if you have any questions of the property owner, he is in the audience.
We'll hear from Tyler. Welcome back, Tyler.
Tyler Borsak for the Planning Department again. So the subject property is situated on the north side of Fairview Avenue in Montauk. The project before the ZBA has gone through revision since the Planning Department first wrote our first assessment on the project. The application is now requesting construct approximately 270 square feet of decking, a hot tub, outdoor shower, to install a new basement egress, which includes a door and a window, and to revegetate. Overall, the project has been greatly scaled back from the original proposal, which required significant variances for a swimming pool and decking, which the planning department had recommended denial of, which we are no longer suggesting. The wetlands within jurisdiction of the property are a portion of Peters Run, which is with notable slopes which run towards down towards Peter Run. Peters Run is a water course that runs through from the golf course directly to the west end of Lake Montauk. Improvements to this parcel and other parcels that border the water course can have significant impacts that extend well beyond the property lines of each individual property. Peters Run is a vital and sensitive water course that provides the benefits of all quality wetlands, especially the retention and redirection of stormwater prior to recharge into the groundwater table and especially into Lake Montauk. The value of the protection of the area around Peters Run to the water quality of Lake Montauk cannot be understated. The current project is a fairly simple and small deck addition to the existing decking on the north side of the residence in order to allow for a more reasonable access to the proposed hot tub on the far west end of the proposed decking, in the most landward location that the applicants felt was reasonable for their use of the property. The proposed hot tub is located 77.9 feet from the wetlands of Peter Run. It does not appear that there is a reasonable location on the property that would both be conforming to both wetland setbacks and lot line setbacks. And the current proposal likely represents the most reasonable location for an improvement of this type. The current proposal takes into consideration the constraints of the property and attempts to limit the impacts of the structures, maximize setbacks, and limit their size. The proposed revegetation is a 10-foot buffer along the entire length of the wetlands, increasing the nearly non-existent buffer. The board may find that some additional vegetation would mitigate the proposed improvements, but the 10-foot buffer is at least close to an approximate measure, mitigation measure for 270 square feet of decking, a shower, and hot tub. The elimination of the sanitary system limits the proposed mitigation for the decking and the hot tub to the revegetation. However, a 10-foot buffer where none currently exists, which accounts for 1,433 square feet of vegetation, and reducing the pre-existing non-conforming below the maximum allowable, which eliminates the non-conforming on the property, may be sufficient to offset the impacts of the limited decking and hot tub alone. Other than that, I'll make myself available for questions you might have.
This is all about the buffer to Peters Run. That's what it's all about. When you go over there, it's kind of surprising. It's mowed right down to the edge. So we have a turf, as was brought up by Member Berger, right down to the edge of the pond. So the whole comment here is yours, and that is the 10-foot adequate buffer to protect ourselves. It is a downward slope. It's there in the open water. The 10 foot is certainly better than what we have, and thankfully that'll be something. But I guess we have to be secure or feel good about the fact that this is what we should be recommending. I mean, standing out there, it's kind of jarring to see just how it goes right down to it.
Absolutely.
So 10 foot, 1,500 square feet, right?
Right, we're just under,
So
yeah.
so a significant amount of re-veg.
It is,
will be up
yeah.
there.
And given the size of the project, we were sort of okay in general with it, but it's certainly more is always better, obviously. But given that it is a fairly limited amount of decking and hot tub, we weren't comfortable in strongly recommending more.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
It seems to me that with the grading and the way that was with the runoff, that 10 might be, minimal amount, and it would be better to.
Yeah, it's across the entire property, though. I mean, 1,400 square feet is certainly no small amount of vegetation. Again, we just felt that based on the scale of the improvements that they were proposing, that more just wasn't something we could strongly recommend.
Strongly recommend.
That we could strongly recommend. Yeah.
Could weekly recommend it? Okay, it just seems that, that turf grass is still going to be 10 feet away from that, but.
I mean, I'm feeling a bit of the same, again, the visual, the slope, just lawn I'm understanding what you're saying, that it's sort of comparable to the extra decking, but yeah, there is a part, because we do talk about Peters Run a lot. It's very significant.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a redevelopment, we would certainly be recommending for much more, but in this case, we didn't feel like.
Okay, and I just want to clarify.
Balance there.
Okay, sorry. Just want to clarify, because I'm just hearing, they're very close, but I'm hearing two different numbers, 1,533 and 1,433, and that on the survey, they're just not quite getting back to the 10,000. So I don't want to nitpick, but just want to know what number we are.
Under, I thought.
It says proposed 10,135.
Right, so we're very, very close. But in the TAM, it said 1533, and you just said 1433. Again, I don't want to nitpick it, but I just want to know the.
Yeah, I thought yeah, I mean, the existing is 11,568, and they're going down to 10,135, where 10,999 is permitted. So yeah, it would be 14 and change.
Will we be able to have a no fertilizer, no condition?
That's generally not something that it's difficult to enforce. So areas where there's like dune land and we don't want lawns at all because of the introduction of fertilizer, it's easier for something like that. But when it's an area where their lawn exists, it's really hard to condition something like that.
Okay.
Do you have a planting plan already in hand, or is that going to be?
No, we would be fine with approving it, prior to a building permit.
Any other questions?
No, I'm good.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address this application? Matt, is there anybody online?
You have 0 callers. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have a motion?
Okay, so the application of Al Capra at 235 Fairview Avenue in Montauk, tax map 300-019-07-6.2. Make a motion to close the public record and the public hearing.
Second.
Concur.
Concur. Thank you. Thank you, Joel. Next, we have Maria Christina Peretti at 501 Montauk Highway in East Hampton, Suffolk tax map number 300-166-4-23. Size and location is 13,294 square feet at 501 Montauk Highway in East Hampton. The description is to allow a portion of an existing 334 square foot screen porch and a 146.45 square foot addition to the main house and 200 square foot addition to the cottage to remain with side and rear yard lot line setbacks and outside the town's pyramid regulations. The relief sought is 7 variances are required for this application. Variances of 6.0 feet, 1.24 feet, and 2 feet are required from 255-1110 of the East Hampton Town Code. to allow the addition to remain 6.4 feet, screen porch to remain 13 feet, and wood deck to remain 12.4 feet from the western side yard lot line, where setbacks of 12.48 feet, 14.24 feet, and 14.4 feet are required respectively. One variance of 10 inches is required from 255-1110 of the Town Code to allow the addition to the residence to remain 19.20 inches from the southern front yard lot line where 20-foot setback is required. One variance of 11.7 feet is required from 255-1110 of the Town Code to allow the addition to the cottage to remain 3.5 feet from the northern rear yard lot line where 50-foot setback is required. Variances of 7.2 inches and 5 foot 1 inch are required from 255-1172D of the Town Code to allow the addition to the residence to remain 7.2 inches and the addition to the cottage to remain 5.1 inch outside of the town's pyramid regulations from the western and northern property lines respectively, and any other relief necessary. The zoning district is A residence, zone X flood zone. Secret class is type 2. Council, do we have proper affidavit of service and posting?
Yeah, I reviewed the affidavits of notice and posting, and everything seems to be in order, and the board has jurisdiction over this hearing.
Thank you. I think, Member Maring, you did this,
Yes,
right?
I did,
Thank you.
but I'm looking for
It was
the
on the borderline,
photos.
the borderline
I don't think
project.
that was my photo.
That was going to be yours.
Yeah.
No, because I was my mistake.
Borderline, we didn't know if
There
it
you
was
go.
East Hampton or
I
Amagansett.
thought it was going to 501
It's right on the border, I think.
in Amagansett, and that was the laundromat, and then I realized. Okay, there was a photo, I think, of the posting, maybe that's coming next, but, so just orienting, so I'm on the north side of Montauk Highway, just east of, kind of where the Hampton goes into that. That's directly across the road. I think many people know this was, I think, used to be Conn's Sporting Goods. I think it maybe was Twin Shams, but that's just a reference. Next slide.
Posting one?
I did send a posting photo.
There it is, right there.
Oh, I'm sorry, there it was. I can just see, right. So you can see the posting. I didn't get close to it. I'm coming in off the highway and it's right in front of the stockade fence. And by the way, you may want to kind of follow along on the survey as I'm going through this, because there's this optical illusion because of all the stockade fencing, which is all, pretty significantly off the property. So I'm going to point out where the actual property lines are, but you might want to follow. Okay, next slide. Right, so I've gone up that driveway where the sun is shining in. That's actually right there is the stockade fence that you saw just a moment ago. It's very tight between the front of the house and the front of the property. Basically, we've got that gravel there with the stone. Just to the left of that, where the little railroad tie is, that is basically the property line. So the stockade is somewhat off the property here. And it's beautiful maple tree there. Small house, next slide. I'm just gonna so I'm just heading west where on the survey, you can see where the portion of the house sort of jogs back a bit. That's the front door. That's the approaching the western property line. I'll get a better shot of it from the other side, but next slide. I'm standing in front, so I'm sorry, it was bright. To the right, you can see that bump out of the house. And then as you're looking back, you'll be able to start to see that screened porch, screened room, which both of these need, I think, setback variances. Next slide. Right, now I've come back around the other side of the house. If you're looking at the survey where it says asphalt, kind of coming up the driveway. So that's the sort of asphalt parking. That's the east side of the residence, the house. You start to see peeking in the background there is the cottage. That's also an element of this application. It's just sort of open lawn in between. What you will be able to see in all these photos is it's outside of that stockade fence is really beautifully wooded. It's all, I think, vacant property. I think all the property around it on three sides is owned by the town, but just you notice how much beautiful mature trees are all around this property. Next slide. Okay, now I'm going back towards the cottage, which, as you know from the application, was expanded and needs both setback and pyramid relief. I think where the extension was is towards the right part of the cottage. I'm going to head back there. You can see again that stockade fence in the distance, and when you look at the survey, you know that that is well off the property. Next slide. Okay, sorry, just got a little closer. You can see the cottage. It's very low slung, very small in size. Next slide. Okay, so now I'm on the back of the cottage. So where that little step down at the rear of the house to that railroad tie, that is just very close to where the property line is. So that stockade is off. So that's why it looks like it doesn't need setback relief, but it does. And next slide. Just coming around the other side of that, again, I'm looking now back towards Montauk Highway. Again, that stockade fence runs straight down towards Montauk Highway and runs on, mostly off and then onto the property. Next slide. Oh, sorry, it's all off the property. Okay, so here, just as a closer look at that screened room, and it's the end of it in the forefront that gets closest to the property line that needs some relief. And then you can see there's, I didn't get the whole thing, but there's that like little concrete slab where I guess there was a hot tub, and the hot tub's been removed, and I think that concrete slab is removed, and that might be it. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. How are you, Karen? Good.
Good evening, board members. Karen Hoag from Toomey Latham, 33 West 2nd Street, Riverhead, New York. Here with me tonight is the property owner, Christina Pieretti, and the architect, Jonathan Baker of FarmWorks Architect, who submitted the plans. As you said, the application proposes to legalize as-built additions to the main house and cottage portions, of which requires relief from side and rear yard setbacks, as well as pyramid relief for both. No new construction is proposed. The lot is a non-conforming lot at 13,294 square feet located in the residential A zone, and it gets relief of a non-conforming lot under Town Code 255-1-43D. It does not meet minimum lot area of 40,000 square feet or lot width, which is the minimum is 160 feet. The lot is at its widest 112.47 feet in the rear and 69.69 feet at its narrowest. The main house, as Ms. Mearing had commented, is situated in a secluded area. It's surrounded completely by vacant properties, which is heavily wooded. The main house is situated on the narrowest portion of the lot. By way of background, the first CO number 14030, was issued in May of 1996 and certifies a 2-story frame, 1-family residence having 1 kitchen only, and 1-story frame cottage having 1 kitchen only. And at that time, there was a shed, but all these structures were erected before the adoption of zoning. There was also an addition of an alteration to a brick patio into the existing 2-story residence. So as the main house and cottage were built prior to the adoption of zoning, they don't comply with current setbacks, so any additions to the structures would require some form of variance relief. The as-built 1-story addition to the main house, the screen porch, the rear deck, and the cottage 1-story addition were constructed based upon aerial photographs sometime between 2013 and 2016, which was prior to the applicant purchasing the property and after the 1996 certificate of occupancy. I thought it might be helpful to show some historical aerials to the board.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Thanks.
If you look at the historical aerials, which I took from Suffolk County GIS from 2013 and 2016, you can see that in 2013, there did not appear to be an addition to the cottage, nor did there appear to be an addition to the main house, but they do appear in 2016. So sometime between that time period, they were added. Since 2016, there were town approvals related to the property. In December of 2017, the town issued a building permit for emergency replacement of a 1,000-gallon septic tank and 300 square foot leaching rings. In September 29th, 2021, a CO was issued to close out that permit. On June 3rd, 2022, the town building department issued a rental registry permit 22-879, which expired in 2024. Ms. Pieretti purchased the property on October 13th, 2023. At that time, the town code did not require an updated CO upon transfer of ownership. When she purchased the property, she was unaware that these improvements were made without the benefit of any permit. She learned the issue after her purchase when a town inspector visited the property in January of 2024. As noted on the property card, the property was flagged by the town for ordinance. A formal notice of violation was never issued, requiring her to go to justice court. While 7 variances may seem substantial when you take a look at the full picture, they are not. In terms of the relief, the main house, if you look at sheet A100, which is what the architect put together, it illustrates the non-conforming portions of the main house. As it relates to the western side yard, that portion of the one-story addition, we are seeking to legalize it setback 6.4 where 12.48 is required, thus relief of 6 feet is needed. A portion of the screen porch, which is not conditioned space, we're seeking to have it remain at 13 feet where a setback of 14.24 is required. Relief of 1.24 feet is needed. The screen porch sits atop the rear wood deck. We seek to legalize the rear wood deck at 12.4 where a setback of 14.4 is required. So therefore, a relief of 2 feet is needed. In terms of the front yard, the notice states that a 10-inch variance is needed when actually it appears to be 8 inches. The front yard is a 20-foot setback and the addition piece is actually 19.2 feet off the front yard. Pyramid relief is needed due to the side yard setbacks. And in terms of the cottage addition, in the rear yard, we're seeking to legalize the addition to remain 3.5 feet from the northern rear yard where 15 feet is required. Also, because of the side yard setbacks and the location of the existing structure, we need pyramid relief. We have addressed the standards of the Town Code 255-8-50D in our application narrative. But to summarize, this is really a unique set of circumstances here that we're dealing with, and there's no harm to any neighbors in legalizing the as-built structures. There's no detriment to the neighboring parcels as it's the vacant land and they're completely wooded. Mrs. Peretti is left with no options but to apply for a variance due to inheriting the as-built additions and the existing nonconformity of the lot and the structures on it. There's no impact to the physical or environmental conditions on the property, and the property complies with building and total lot coverage. And we respectfully request that the board grant the request for relief. We are aware of the fencing that is off the property line. While it's more of a title issue, not a zoning issue, we are working on addressing that. And we're here if the board has any questions.
The cottage, so what was the amount of square footage that was added to the cottage?
I believe it was 200 square feet. Jonathan, would you have that information?
Right there.
No, the red is the what needs the relief.
The red
That's the whole, the addition was bigger.
I have 200.
200, right?
200, yeah.
200. So do you know what the total size of this cottage is? And the reason I ask is I'm not sure, obviously this was a pre-existing, it had a kitchen. I don't know that it had a bedroom before, but I don't know when we think, I don't know if this also has to fit under the maximum accessory structure size of 600 or no? Because
the structure's pre-existing non-conforming, the cottage structure.
In terms of setbacks and pyramid, yes, I'm just, because it was expanded. Again, we'll ask the council, but generally it's a cottage. I guess it's also an accessory structure, and then that would have a limit of
It
600
goes
or,
towards the GFA.
sorry?
There's two legal C of Os.
So it has, since there's two COs, it's technically a principal resident. It's still a
Oh,
principal
so it
resident.
would really be a
There's no
second
limit.
residence?
It's just as long as both structures are not over the total allowed GFA for the whole property combined, then it's okay.
Okay, so the max size related to accessory structures is not a thing here? It's not
No,
play.
no,
Okay, I
because it's
just
a
wanted to check
principal
that. Thank you.
But it goes to say that if this was a proposed application, we would be having a conversation about increasing nonconformities.
Yes.
And alternate scenarios of what might happen. We don't have that benefit here. So, I mean, we're going to have to, and sounds like you've addressed it in your, in the standards, but just can speak specifically, if you can, to the uniqueness of the application relative to what we've denied in the past, relative to increasing nonconformities.
Sure. So these structures are both pre-existing non-conforming. They predate zoning. These structures, these additions have been there since, looks like at least as far back as 2016. The town, or there's been no violations cited to the property. The town has been on the property over the years, whether it was issuing building permits for sanitary installation, which is sufficient capacity-wise to serve both units, as well as the fact that there was, a recent rental registry that was also issued to a prior owner. I mean, it's unfortunate that when the purchase happened back in 2023, that there was no code requirement at that time to get an updated CO, because all these issues would have come to light at that time.
That's still buyer beware. I mean, still exists in terms of responsibility of the buyer to know what is, am I wrong?
It is, and counsel as well. I did not represent her on the purchase,
Right.
but those are things that certainly get looked at. The fact is that there is, if you're looking at the standards, there is no harm to any of the adjacent properties. It's the space that is added that is really in question in terms of within the setbacks is pretty minimal. Especially if you look at the bump out addition, it's a one-story addition that created additional living space. You probably have driven by this property a million times and never even noticed the property was there. Which just happened to me when we went to go post it. But, there's, I think that those are important criteria. There's no plan on expanding the square footage of these structures, that they, we understand that they are, that this is really to kind of legalize what's there so that we can get the property properly CO'd and address the problems so that there are no problems going forward in the future. It's also meets all the pre-existing, it's grandfathered in terms of clearing. That's also noted on the survey as well. I think that the circumstances are, and, Ms. Peretti could even speak to them, or the architect, is that, it's a hardship, purchasing something with these problems associated with it, and not learning them until after the fact. That is an unfortunate situation.
Any other questions?
Well, I just want to say, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just want to say to the chair's point is that, yes, you're right, but that could come up with any number of pieces of property. Obviously, there's a responsibility to the applicant here, in this case, or the potential owner, to look into the conditions on the property, but they're also legally represented. So somebody did not stop and say, by the way, this property is dangerously close to the edge line. I don't see it included in the 96 C of O. So she was either poorly represented, and then we're inheriting it as a condition of approval because she didn't know. I don't know that that's our responsibility to worry about whether you do and don't know. Before you say anything else, I just want to say, I'm not sure that there's any great fault in what anybody did here, except for the fact that legally we're being asked to approve a significant pyramid violation, pyramid variance. And the fact that particularly with the cottage, that it's, virtually on the property line, these are pretty significant. So it's true, she did not know. and I understand that, and we can have a certain amount of sympathy for it. But nonetheless, we're looking at a piece of property here that's just got a very strange shape to it. And despite what the fence looks like, which is obviously all over the place, there was still must have been at some moment when this was being presented legally, where you have to say to yourself, by the way, do I have a problem? And if I'm only 5 feet from a property line, I have a problem. I know that coming in, especially if it's not on a previous C of O. So I think there's something for us to consider here when we review these things.
Well, I think one thing, you know, as just as a layperson, if, you know, in looking at the property card, when you see that there's a CO that comments on and legalizes the cottage in its current configuration, of what you believe to be its current configuration in 96, and then you see the house on that as well. So you're looking at two principal residents. I don't know if anybody from a layperson looks and says, well, what was the square footage? Does it look like, you know, I mean, I do. I mean, I look at the aerials and I try to figure out, you know, as part of my due diligence, but I can't speak for other people who do that. But the fact that the town then had issued COs for a sanitary system, and it was also on the rental registry, I think as a layperson, and, you know, we could talk to the owner, I would think that there weren't any issues, because I would think that it wouldn't have a rental permit if there was an issue. But that, to me, is just how I would look at it, and I would assume, and, you know, we can ask the current owner if that's what her understanding was as well. But I think that there is some merit to the fact that there were approvals after the fact of the 96 CO. And I think, you know, unless you do a deep dive into, you know, looking at architectural plans or historic surveys, you know, you may not have known. I mean, you can't tell from that survey that the cottage is actually had an addition to it until we had as-built plans done. So I just think that's something that is unique to this application.
I know that there was an emergency septic system replacement not that long ago, but that's still a standard septic. It's not an upgraded, it was not upgraded to the nitrogen reducing IA at the time. What type of septic is it?
John, is it just a conventional? Yeah, I believe that the CO states that it's a.
It talks about the size of the tank. You know.
Yeah, it's a.
I think it would say if it had an IA.
Yeah, it's 1,000-gallon septic tank and 300 square foot leaching rings. That was approved by the town in 2021. And then the town engineer submitted a memo in 2018 in regard to it, saying the CO could issue. And then in 2017 was when the actual building permit was issued.
So between the residence up front and the cottage, how many bedrooms in total?
4? 4 bedrooms. 1 in the cottage, 3 in the residence.
Was there any thought to upgrading the septic?
Not currently.
You have to speak at the, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry.
You can do it too. I'm not aware of the second. I know that the one.
State your name and address, and I'll have to swear you in.
My name is Jonathan Baker, 3015 Skunk Lane, Cutchogue.
Thank you. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. The only thing I'm aware of is when we pulled town records after a town inspector left the card for the ordinance for the hot tub and obviously the fence and the driveway. And the town records were just photos of the septic replacement in 21. And just what I'm reading from the replacement is that the leaching was sized for a 4-bedroom, right? It's 300 square feet. So I don't know if the owner thinks there's actually a separate septic for the. I'm not sure. Yeah, but I think it's sized for, the house has always been a 3-bedroom. It is a 3-bedroom. It's 1 bedroom in the cottage.
And then we don't have jurisdiction necessarily over things that are off the property, but it is really an extreme amount of fencing that's off the property. Have you considered correcting that and getting your fencing onto your property, onto your property line?
Yeah, I think obviously going through this process, the hot tub has been removed, the
Right.
shed at the rear that's off the property line has been removed.
Says it on the
The
survey.
fencing, is sort of a larger project along with the driveway, so just try to reimagine, obviously bring the fence, but the fence. will be project.
Right, as you can see on the survey, it's noted that the
It says
existing
that,
fence will be
It does.
moved to the property.
All of it is? Oh, I'm
even
sorry, I
if-
didn't see that.
Existing fence to be moved to the
Well, I didn't know if it was the whole thing or, okay, yeah,
I think
thank
kind of
you.
the
Oh,
fence
it's
kind of-
right there in front of
Right.
me.
Creates that disconnect when you visit the property.
And they're removing the shed.
Yeah,
The owner-
I think the shed's already
The
gone,
shed is
isn't it?
gone and the hot
Yeah, I
tub is
figured
gone.
that, I saw that.
And the hot tub's gone already. Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you. Any other questions?
No, I'm good.
Thank you. Tyler?
Tyler Borzak for the Planning Department again. Being just dimensional variances, I don't have much else to add. I will note that the adjacent property to this is a town-owned parcel, which is currently actually being developed for affordable housing. That said, the plan, if I remember correctly.
Tyler, I don't think that
No, Cantwell
is,
Court's.
Cantwell Court is,
Is that even
no, this is
further
a
east?
separate private, yeah, it's further.
Further east? I thought.
Further
for the
west.
For the west.
Yeah,
I thought it was
no.
the same property.
No, I thought so too for a second.
So
No,
yeah, so then it's,
That's a private lot that's
then
pretty
it's
big.
The one to the east is a private lot. I don't know.
The one to the east is part of a subdivision, I believe.
I thought I looked at the one to the west and north that was.
That's a private, that's not town-owned, that's owned by Finian Limited. It's
Okay.
it's very big. It's like,
It's really big. I thought I had,
There's also a
The one,
GIS gave it to me as town-owned, but it could
unless it changed.
could have been
but,
an error.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's
I
unimproved now.
I looked at the tax map. Cantwell Court is like 2 lots to the west. And then according to the tax map, the lot that it abuts on the east side is town-owned, but I don't know. So,
All right, yeah, it might have been a misclick on my behalf then, if that's correct.
okay, sorry. interrupted.
No. Yeah, so the structures went over, rear yard setbacks and pyramid for the cottage, side yard, front yard, and pyramid for the addition to the house, and some minor side yard addition for the decking and the screen porch are what's required for the application. So there's a lot going on. The structures were constructed after the most recent CO, which for the residents in 1996. And were built without a building permit. The applicant inherited the property or purchased the property in 2023. And based on aerial images, it looks like they were built sometimes between 2013 and 2016. The hot tub and the shed have already been removed, which is there, so they're not seeking relief in order for those to remain. I can answer any questions you might have, but we don't have much else to add on this one.
Any questions for Tyler?
I have no question.
The pyramid variance is to the property to the west,
To the west and for the cottage to the north, obviously.
not to the north. So that, just to clarify, just went over the property ownership. The lot to the left is a developable lot.
Yes, apparently, and I think it's the same property. I think it hooks around. It's very large.
yeah,
It's very large.
It's the same owner.
It's a 22-acre piece of land.
It's very big.
It runs all the way up to the train tracks.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's a potential subdivision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No.
No.
Thank you, Tyler. Karen, anything else to add? Come on up. Is there anybody, first let me go to the public. Is there anybody in the public would like to address this? Okay. Yeah, well, we'll grab her first then.
Okay, good. Hi, good night. Thanks for the time.
State your name and address and I'll have to
I'm
swear you
Maria
in.
Cristina Pieretti. Should I say my address here or elsewhere here? 501 Montauk Highway. So I purchased a property, as was
You
mentioned.
swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and
I
nothing but
swear
the
to tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So I purchased the property in November 2023. Then we got, the inspector notice, as Karen said, the following year. I just want to say, I do intend to repair the fence. Actually, some of that fence is coming down. And when I drove in here, there was a piece that was coming down. I just want to make sure that the CO is in place before I do anything else with the fence. So I was just waiting for it. And I did remove the hot tub. That cement slab or that concrete slab will be removed. I just removed the hot tub a couple of weeks ago. And I also demolished the shed because I know it was non-conforming. So wherever I can, I've been trying to get conforming. I'm just waiting for the CO to then fix the fence if it's possible. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State your name and address.
Victoria Friel, and I live at 487 Pantico Road, so I am the first, oh, sorry.
Oh, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, I swear. So I actually am the only resident directly surrounding her house, so I live to the west. So there's a piece of land from the developer, I guess, the 22-acre between us, and then I'm the closest residential home. And I just want to say I have no issue with the application or the variances, even though some of the property structure is towards the western side. I see, she's not looking to blow it up and turn it into a huge mansion or anything. So I think, in my opinion, just as a neighbor, it's fine.
Thank you. Karen, you good? All right, can we have a motion?
Yes.
You have 0 callers on the line. Thank you.
Okay, in the matter of Maria Cristina Peretti, 501 Montauk Highway, East Hampton, Suffolk County tax map 300-166-04-23, I make a motion to close the record and the hearing.
Second.
Sure.
Concur.
Concur. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You too. Next, going to work session, we have administrative applications. First one is Jeremy and Kristen Phillips at 68 Springy Banks Road, East Hampton, Suffolk tax map number 600-118-1-56, and that's to construct a 617 square foot addition and 269 square foot deck within jurisdiction of a freshwater wetland. Tyler?
Sure. So this one is Jake's. I'm covering it for him. This is, as was noted, it's a 617 square foot addition to the residence, which is located, the addition is here. It's sort of sandwiched in between wetlands. It's out of jurisdiction from wetlands of 3 Mile Harbor, and it's in jurisdiction from the wetlands across the street. The jurisdictional line is right here. So it's just partially within jurisdiction to those wetlands. I think it's 138 feet from wetlands across the street to the west.
I'm sorry, I couldn't see where your cursor was moving.
All
Could
right.
you just, one more time? Thank you.
So this area here, you can sort of see this line coming north to south. That's your jurisdictional line for the wetlands across the street. So just a portion of that, really the connection and the very first couple of feet of that addition are within jurisdiction. So pretty minimally within jurisdiction. 617 square foot addition, 269 square feet of decking. Outside of jurisdiction to 3 Mile Harbor itself. No variance is required, obviously. It's because we're proposing it for administrative review. It seems fairly straightforward.
Good.
Is there any issues around like clearing or anything, or that you're
All
looking at?
pre-existing what's on there. I'm not sure what the numbers are.
Okay. That you would work on any of that as part of an administrative?
We felt that it was so, the amount that's in jurisdiction is so minimal.
Okay.
And there's no real great area to do a revegetation. There is lawn in the back of the property, but it's out of jurisdiction from the wetlands on that side. And there's a property in between this and the wetlands. So
Okay,
it wouldn't be really any great benefit, plus the minimal amount of work that they're doing. It would be hard to say how a revegetation is going to have a great impact.
Thank you.
I'm okay with this, guys.
I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it too.
All right, so therefore I make a motion in Jeremy and Kristen Phillips, 68 Springy Banks Road in East Hampton, Suffolk tax map number 300-118-1-56 to allow the application to proceed administratively.
Second.
Concur.
Concur.
Thank you. Next, we have Jeffrey and Elizabeth Laurel at 29 Springwood Way, East Hampton, Suffolk, tax map number 300-74-7-26.1. And that's 1,081 square foot of clearing on a parcel containing a bluff and tidal wetland.
Yeah, so that's all they're asking for on this is to do some clearing and have a little bit of lawn space. There essentially is no lawn, or very minimal, I should say. I mean, there's a little bit around the pool, but not significant. So that's what they're asking for. 1,081 square feet of clearing within jurisdiction of the bluff crest. Outside of setbacks, obviously, it doesn't need a variance. The area seaward of the proposed clearing is well vegetated and there's no structures proposed.
What's the
Outside of
overall
jurisdiction,
clearing?
you said, right?
It's in jurisdiction, but outside of setbacks.
What's the clearing number?
The total? It's proposed to be total 9,692.
Sorry, what's
allowable?
What's allowable?
Allowable is 10,000.
What?
10,000.
So they're a couple of hundred off.
Yeah, just under,
Just under 300 or something? Yeah.
Is this in a HPOD?
Yeah, it's harbor protection.
So I'm sorry, when they clear, they're not going to meet HPOD, or they will meet it?
They will still meet, yes,
They're
absolutely, yeah.
okay,
absolutely,
got it.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm okay with this.
I am too, because they will meet HPOD, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm okay.
Okay.
So therefore, with Jeffrey and Elizabeth Laurel, 29 Springwood Way in East Hampton, Suffolk, tax map number 300-74-7-26.1, make a motion to allow the application to proceed administratively.
Second?
Concur.
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 Thank you.
Do you want to go here?
Yes.
Okay.
Board members, can we make a decision on the surf club this evening? Would you be able
Well,
to?
it seemed two things about it. One is that it's over a completely disturbed area already. It's not a large addition. It's all landward of it. We can wait 2 weeks, but I would be saying the same thing I'm saying now, that I have no problem with it. I don't see, in a lot of cases, when we get asked to do it right away, what are the extenuating circumstances? I can't see an extenuating circumstance between now and any future date that would influence my decision. So I'm willing to move on it now and approve it.
Well, I think I agree with Ed. I think there's minimal changes to what already exists. The additions are minimal in size and proposed within the footprint of existing improvements, and there's nothing seaward expansion being proposed. So I think it meets the standards, and I would be willing to approve it.
Yeah, Terry?
Yeah, I agree. I think it meets all the standards, and I'm willing to approve this tonight. It's already been deemed complete by the planning board, and we'll go back to them after this. I see no issues with it. I approve it.
Yes, I would agree. Some of this has been done before and already approved by the board. I think there was at least one unit that was cited, and I guess I agree on the standards. These are very small fill-in type changes. And of course, it's in an amazing location, when you see it, but it makes sense, and I'm good with it.
Right, and I agree too, and one of the things I typically look at on something like this, it came before us, we approved it, but it is zoned as resort zoned. A lot of these are zoned in a residential, which it would be a non-conforming use, but this being a resort zone, it's
good point.
It's applicable.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you.
All right, so that one's done. Thank you.
We go to other decisions now. KES LLC at 23 Eastlake Drive in Montauk, Suffolk, tax map number 300-20-2-12, and that's a modification of a 2022 decision.
So this one was Morgan's, and she did a good job highlighting of what's different between what was approved and what they're asking to modify, or part of it I think is happened. The request was for a lot of things originally. There was a 950 square foot residence, a 600 square foot garage, a greenhouse, swimming pool, pool house, trellis with patio, shed, sanitary system, driveway, and gates. Currently it's under construction. The improvements requested by the mod need an NRSP, but no additional relief is being requested. And that's what it was approved for originally, was a natural resources special permit. They've eliminated a number of structures, and I'll switch to the approved one to show you that. So this is the approved survey. So this structure's down here. A lot of this has been, or all of this has been removed. That's a 348 square foot greenhouse. There's an associated driveway that's all been removed. A 61 square foot shed here, and the 307 square foot trellis with patio under it. And the pool deck, which was, this was a patio originally approved, is now a pool deck, which I'll show on the survey. So this is what they are asking for now, is a deck, which is slightly larger. They got rid of all those structures down here. The clearing is slightly different. This little pathway is more meandering. They've tightened up the clearing in here. Overall, the clearing is actually slightly more, 274 square feet of extra clearing that was beyond what was approved, minimal. They relocated a structure here. I think it's a shed, the pool house has been relocated out of jurisdiction entirely. Sanitary system was relocated out here. Let's see what else. The pool house, although the pool house was also enlarged, it was 61 square feet, it's now 128 square feet, but it's out of jurisdiction. The leaching pools were originally built within 150 feet of the wetlands to the south, but are proposed to be relocated to a conforming location, which is shown in the engineer plans. Building coverage is proposed to be reduced by 413 square feet. Total coverage is proposed to be reduced by 2,598 square feet. That's mainly from that driveway, and then clearing up slightly. The board may want to consider a condition of approval of the modification being an updated revegetation plan, since the clearing is so different than what was originally approved. But other than that, we didn't anticipate any negative environmental impacts compared to those with the original application.
So to be clear, this is a modification.
Yes.
No additional variances, but it also seems like they've improved some of the conditions on the site.
Yeah, certainly less total coverage with the removal of this greenhouse area, sheds being relocated or removed, pool house being relocated larger but out of jurisdiction, and the removal of this driveway is a lot of that coverage, certainly.
And you said that all this work that's part of this modification has already been done, or is?
I'm not familiar if it's already been, I think the property is under construction, and I think they're proposing some of these changes. I don't know if all of them have happened yet or not. I'm not familiar enough with the site to say that.
I mean, for the record, again, this is not how I'm going to decide on it, but like, for the record, this was, a well heard. I wasn't on the board at the time. There was a lot of stuff going on. There was a determination. I just, from a process standpoint, I just want to say for the record, we want modifications to come to us when they would like to have them, not when they're done, but I just wanted to.
True. We got some of that.
Mr. Chairman, I was recused from this decision.
Okay, so I'm okay with this modification. Again, our policy has been, if there's no additional variances, that we could approve this from the bench. I would recommend that we maybe think about that.
I think I'm leaning toward it, but I'd like to hear, what did you say about the re-veg? That all the, like this driveway area and everything will become part of the re-veg plan?
It is proposed to be part of the revegetation, and because the area of revegetation is different, we're suggesting that we condition it on a new re-veg plan being approved by the planning department.
Okay, yeah, I would go with that.
It's a motion.
Okay, so for KES, everybody's good?
Yeah, I'm good.
KES LLC at 23 East Lake Drive, Montauk, tax map 300-20-2-12. Make a motion to approve the modification from 2022.
Second.
Concur. Thank you. Next, we have Kaufman at 50 Oyster Shores Road, East Hampton, Suffolk, tax map number 300-92-6-19. It's a modification of a 2023 determination, which happens to be a denial. Yeah. And I think we had questions whether we could have a modification on a denial. So counsel, you might have to fill us in after Tyler does too.
Yeah, so there was a denied NRSP and wetland setbacks, bluff crest variances associated with a demo of a one-story residence, a swimming pool, construction of a two-story residence, swimming pool, decking, driveway. Obviously, that's tidal wetlands and coastal bluffs. The modification is requesting to seek to reconstruct and reorient the swimming pool. I can pull up the plans if you'd like to see them, but modifications are generally entertained by the zoning board for minor alterations or changes to structures or activities in valid determinations. The planning department is not aware of any modification being issued in conjunction with a denial or no approved activities. So we are suggesting that it be evaluated as part of a new application.
I have to agree with that. I mean, we don't even have enough information to make a decision.
Well, I was going to say, like, what is it they're proposing in the modification? Not that I'm going to consider it, but.
But I mean, you don't have enough, yeah.
Yeah. I just.
Essentially, they're proposing to, so the pool right now extends well out. There's a retaining wall around it, which they're proposing to leave. And they're proposing to reorient it parallel with the house, pull it back. But we feel that it requires full review by the board.
Well, I mean, the previous application was a redevelopment. Was it not a redevelopment?
Originally, it was a redevelopment, yes.
It was a redevelopment, so that was a part of a whole. And now I think, I agree, I think it's a new application.
I agree too. Absolutely.
Well,
We don't have enough information.
okay, but can that even be done, council? Can we just,
Yeah, I don't know how you can
there
modify
was a denial, so how,
Yeah, there's
I don't think you can modify a denial,
nothing to
can you?
modify.
yeah, how could you?
Modifying
Nothing's.
That's what I'm asking. What's the legal? thing
Well,
on it?
it's more than that, and that's what I'll say, if I can add to that, if you will. It's the application before was an entire redevelopment, and it had a different house, it had a whole different location. So it really this has no bearing on that previous application at all. So that's why I think it's a new,
Yeah, I don't.
new application.
I don't understand how you can, that's what, they modify their plan, but that doesn't mean you modify they have to come back. It's a substantially different application,
Coming in for a pool.
which would allow them to come back, because, there's a res judicata issue. If you can't just keep applying for the same variance, but that's not what they're doing here. They're applying for something different.
So we're
So you
rejecting.
need to hear it as a new application.
Right. Declining to act.
So what do we do here? Do we make a motion to deny the modification?
Why would we even do that if it's not even a valid thing?
Yeah,
to
I wouldn't
propose?
deny them, because you don't want to,
So we just leave it
I
go?
just-
Deny it, we're giving them a
Just say-
precedent.
Declining to act on the request,
And
they can make the
Just
decision to
reject
go further.
yeah, they can submit an application. It's
Okay.
not, yeah.
Okay.
Agree.
So I think a letter has to go to the applicant saying that the zoning board feels that this is a new application. It's just very simple, right?
Yeah, it's not, the application is, their request is not ripe for review by the board. They need to,
Just declined to act on it.
yeah, it's not,
Exactly.
yeah, we're not ready to do
That's
anything.
kind of the terminology we always used to use.
Thank you. Next, we have building permit certificate of occupancy, and that's the Herlin at 187 3 Mile Harbor, Hogcrete Highway Springs, Suffolk Tax Map number 300-94-1-2.1. And that's compliance with conditions of approval, eligibility request for bulkhead reconstruction.
Yeah, so this is Brian's as well. This was a permit to reconstruct the 154 linear feet of concrete bulkhead with vinyl sheathing and untreated lumber piling on a parcel of land containing surface waters. The permit limited the elevation of the top of the new bulkhead to 8 foot proposed in the engineering plans, and the as-built elevation is 9.4 feet. The planning department does not object to the as-built elevation, but the elevation increase is significant enough to warrant a formal modification of the permit. At 33 square foot deck, as labeled on the survey, constructed landward of the stairs was not part of the approval and may be part of the upper staircase platform. And a rectangular wall is labeled on the survey located at the northern portion of the property appears to be an innocuous at-grade structure that extends beyond the northern lot line. That being said, the main thing is that increase in the elevation of the bulkhead, we felt was more appropriate for a modification so that there was something official in the record that, you know, the board was okay with that.
So this is something that bulkheads are something we look at closely. We've looked at heights, we've looked at, we've even denied heights on bulkheads. And this is one that went through the scrutiny of the zoning board. It had a specific elevation that it was approved for. Arbitrarily changing the height, I think is going to require a proper modification process here, because there's neighbors involved. It's a different animal, and I think that it would be my recommendation to the board to say that they have to come through proper process, modification process hearing. Yeah.
I agree with that. Wait, did we get a memo from Brian on this? Am I thinking of something else? Or
I
am
feel like
thinking of
he
this one?
reviewed this with us. It sounds very familiar.
I think he
a while
emailed it to you
ago,
last
but
week.
Yeah, I think he did, like, we got something last week, yeah.
I was just,
So I think this is not, I think this is something that has to go through hearing, modification process.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
we certainly weren't comfortable just signing off on it as
It's a substantial change, and why would they, well, I don't know, that's a silly
I would
question.
agree.
Whatever
on
reason,
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
I mean, is it a functioning, we'll find out.
Yeah.
So
What's the protocol here now again?
I mean, we can just inform that it doesn't pass the CO inspection and they need to submit a modification.
Okay, thank you. Resolutions, no, draft minutes of October 28th.
I had a problem with them, and I don't know, honestly,
So
if
if you wanna-
that was
if you wanna
resolved,
modify them,
so
we'll
somebody
table
else
them?
can.
Oh,
What do you mean, Terry?
On the minutes, from what I remember, okay, I was out of pocket this past week, some of it. There was the recusal by you and the
Oh, yeah.
for Jane. And
Right.
then I didn't see Jane's response in the minutes.
It's not, well, may I address that? Because I've done
Somebody addressed
minutes
it,
my
I'm
entire
just
life.
asking.
In minutes, it's mandated that recusals be recorded. So it's not a choice. We have to include them, but discussions are not recorded because minutes are not a transcript. And there is a tape on what happened. But we would have to have language in there about any recusal. A board member made a recusal
Oh,
or an
okay,
applicant.
that's fine.
That
I
has
would
to
just
be-
think somebody gets a response, like an applicant gets a response.
An applicant gets a response.
this is not a
you know.
decision, though.
No. This is about recording.
I'm not
Yeah, this is
totally
minutes.
clear on this, but
If you're uncomfortable making a motion, I can.
go for it then.
You can say nay. You don't have to
I'll
approve.
say nay.
In the matter of the draft minutes, I make a motion that we approve the draft minutes as written.
I'll say.
Do we have a second? Thank you.
Concur?
I'll
abstain, I guess.
concur, actually.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to
All right,
concur,
let's
yeah.
move on.
Move on to resolutions. We have Hampton Wyeth LLC at 10 Tyson Lane, East Hampton, Suffolk Tax Map Number 300-189-6-2. Board members, we had this decision. This was decision off of Further Lane. The board approved this unanimously. And so I'll make a motion in the application of Hampton Wyeth LLC at 10 Tyson Lane, East Hampton, Suffolk Tax Map Number 300-189-6-7.2 to approve the resolution as written.
Second.
Concur.
Concur.
Next, we have Susan Porter at 191 South Fairview Avenue in Montauk,
Okay,
Suffolk Tax Map Number 300-28-5-24.
all right, this one was mine, and if you recall, this was for a change to a hot tub and some added decking, some egress out of the basement for the application, and it was a unanimous approval by this board. So for Susan Porter, 191 South Fairview Avenue, Montauk, Suffolk County Tax Map 300-28-5-24, make a motion to approve the determination as written.
Second.
Concur.
Concur.
Concur, thank you. We have David and Lisa Welsh at 240 Westlake Drive, Montauk, Suffolk Tax Map number 300-12-4-21, 28.1. Whose was
I
it?
didn't even see this.
Yeah, I didn't see it either, but.
It's a Scrivener's error.
Which one?
What?
What?
No, David,
No.
what?
Oh, no, Welsh? I saw it. It was sent to us.
Oh, somehow I missed that one. I didn't see it.
This was a.
Yeah, this was a 4-1 approval.
Well, I know, yeah.
I read it. Well, I don't know.
They look okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else read it?
Yep.
You read it?
Yeah, and we got, Charlie's
Okay.
been busy. You want me to make a motion? Who's making a
I'll
motion?
make a
Ed, you making a
motion,
motion?
then. Did you look at it too?
No.
All right, well, could always amend it later if necessary, I guess. Okay, so for David and Lisa Welsh at 240 Westlake Drive, Montauk, tax map 300-12-4-28.1, make a motion to approve determination as written. This was a 4-1.
4-1.
Yes.
Yeah, there was one denial, okay.
I'll second it.
I concur.
Concur, thank you.
Concur.
Next, we have Alan and Karen Burke at 1859 Montauk Highway, Amagansett. So tax map number 300-131-1-11.1. It's a modification of a Scrivener's error.
Yeah, this one was my fault. I didn't carry some of the information from I had used when I copied something, I didn't copy it down to the correct information down to, so the approval in the first section wasn't reflected, the proper stuff. It's just clearing up my mistake.
This was the new development on that vacant right, yeah, okay.
On the highway.
All right, I'll make the motion, yep. In the matter of Alan and Karen Burke, 1859 Montauk Highway, Amagansett, Suffolk County Tax Map 300-131-1-11.1, I make a motion to accept the modification of the Scrivener's error of the resolution.
Wait a second.
Concur.
Concur.
Concur. Next, we have Sean Eckert at 11 Rehan Avenue in Montauk, Suffolk Tax Map number 300-30-3-10.
Okay, this was mine, and if you recall, this is the one with the retaining walls and on Rehand, retaining walls and a parking area and everything that went off the property with this was an approval of an NRSP and the variance from the homeowner's property, and I believe it was a 5-0 approval? Yeah. So for Sean Eckert at 11 Rehan Avenue, Montauk, tax map 300-30-03-10, make a motion to approve the determination as written.
Second.
Concur.
Concur.
Concur. We next have Janice Wilson at 1 Gladstone Place in Montauk, Suffolk Tax Map number 300-19-2-50.3.
Okay, that's mine too, and there were a bunch of changes to that today, and I think they all got done. From what I saw, I was okay with it. And this was a split decision on an overclearing issue in a water recharge overlay district area. So for Janice Wilson at 1 Gladstone Place, Montauk, tax map 300-19-02-50.3, I make a motion to approve the determination as written.
Second.
Concur.
Concur.
Concur, thank you. We next have
I'm
Anna
recused
Kanger.
on the Kanger one.
I didn't, this one's not done, so.
The what?
Well, I didn't get this one finished yet. so,
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about Waterview?
I sent it out,
Late.
but like very late, so.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't.
No, it was, I was trying
Are
to
you
get
up
it
against the
done.
clock on that?
Yeah, close, but.
Did you read it, Jen?
Well, I got to read it when I was sitting here because I had missed the message because I was.
No, yeah, it was sent
All
late.
about
I
the
wasn't.
buffer, right?
Yeah, right. It was
And
all about
I
additional.
did write back to Charlie that I thought
Yeah.
the resolution needs more about the buffer and what we
Right.
approved in the
Yeah,
sketch.
so we can just do it in the next
Table it?
meeting. Yeah, table it
Okay.
and then I'll, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. So I think we're going into exec session. Is that right, Charlie?
Yeah, there was one other, I did send out one other thing. We can table this one too. I've been trying to get, it's a modification of the Delamata one that Farrell Fritz handled. But I also sent that out late, so I probably haven't seen it yet.
I didn't get to see it.
That one.
I saw it. We could,
We can table it until the next meeting, but yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so can we have a,
So we're making two
we're
different-
going to exec to discuss a legal matter.
okay. So I'll make two motions. I make a motion to adjourn the zoning board of appeals meeting on November 18th at 8:33 PM.
Second it?
Concur.
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 I make a motion to go into executive session regarding legal matter.
Second that.
Concur.
Concur.
Concur.